Hey everyone, welcome back to the Corbin Report. Today, talking football news, most recent Steelers Cowboys trade, what they've done, going with NBA playoffs, how that's been going. A little shocking there for me. Also, some hockey playoffs. And yeah, if you have any comments, questions, feel free to comment below on all social media profiles. If you'd like to hear something, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Corbin Report, and follow on Spotify at The Corbin Report. All right, I will start with a correction. The last time I said in my show, the Seahawks, when they lost Tyler Lockett to the Titans, they had one receiver, not two. They still have two because I forgot they had Cooper Kupp. And I do think if Tyler Lockett would have stayed, I still think it would have been better for him and the team as well. But he just chose to go to Tennessee Titans. Not sure, but it is what it is. And then sticking with football, according to NFL.com, the Pittsburgh Steelers trade wide receiver George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. This was a little shock to me. Didn't know if it was real or not. Heard about it, had to look up to make sure it was accurate. Dallas gets Pickens in a 2027 sixth round pick, while the Steelers get a 2026 third round pick or third round selection and a 2027 fifth rounder. I say the Cowboys won this trade because now they have two solid receivers who can both be number ones in Lamb and Pickens. The Steelers had this when they traded for Metcalf and they still had Pickens. Yes, they did get veteran receiver Robert Woods, and he's a good player, but not a young player. They should have kept Pickens because now they only have one young receiver and one old receiver, if I'm not counting Calvin Austin. One thing I can think of is they are planning to draft a receiver next year, unless they decide to sign another receiver in the offseason. But I don't know who that would be, and I don't also didn't write this down, but I don't know why you would wait a whole year to get a receiver. Wouldn't you want to win now? Their defense should still be fine. We'll never know what it will look like to have Pickens and Metcalf on the same team. Now it will be Pickens and Lamb. I had the Steelers making the playoffs this year with their defense and Pickens and Lamb and then the whole offense, and then they lost their quarterback, all this stuff. Now I'm not sure. They did get a quarterback in Will Howard in the draft, who is most likely their future franchise quarterback. So I'm not sure what it would look like now. According to Steelers.com, he had 59 catches for 900 yards last season, just shy of a 1,000-yard season, but only scored 3 touchdowns. This is Pickens we're talking about. And then on the other hand, according to ProFootballReference.com, Metcalf in his career has had 438 receptions for 6,324 yards and 48 touchdowns, according to NFL.com. Last season, he had 66 receptions for 992 yards, 8 shy of a 1,000-yard season, and had 5 touchdowns. Now, looking back after I was writing this, the Steelers do need a receiver, but they need people who could score touchdowns, get in that end zone. And Pickens and Metcalf, they had a combined total of 8 touchdowns last season, and they were on different teams. So maybe they're looking for someone who can score, and we'll see what happens. For basketball, the WNBA season will be starting soon. They are currently in preseason. I have not watched any games, and I will need to start watching for sure during the regular season. Staying in basketball, but with the NBA playoffs, if you made it this far, this is where the meat of the show is right now. Plenty of stuff going on. And then today there's only one game, actually. Thursday, May 8th, only one game, Warriors and Timberwolves. So staying with basketball, but in the NBA playoffs, as I said, the Boston Celtics were up and handling the New York Knicks in Game 2 in what looked like to be a defensive battle. In the end, the Knicks took the lead to go up. Then Boston scored to take back the lead. But then the New York Knicks scored again. The Celtics did have a chance to win it. Jason Tatum tried to throw the ball to Horford for a shot, but Tatum was triple teamed. And I know I said the Knicks may not go far, and it looks like so far I am wrong, as they beat Boston at home not once but 2 times, both in comeback victories. They are a good defensive team, New York. Maybe they don't need their bench unless something happens to their starters or if they need rest. That's why I said the Knicks wouldn't go far because their bench doesn't play that much. What I think Boston should do is play Torrey Craig, as he's a defensive player, first, and I think he can help calm the storm a little bit. New York, being the lower seed, will now be at home for 2 games, and they can sweep the Celtics, or will Boston take 2 on the road? The way New York is playing, you'd think they would have got swept, but they won 2 in a row. Josh Hart scored 23 points, while Karl Anthony Towns scored 21, and also had 17 rebounds, while OG Anunoby had 4 steals. And I saw Porzingis didn't start for Boston. For them, have chance, I think he needs to start at the center position. Tatum had 14 rebounds, and him and Horford had 3 steals. In the end, it was a good game as the Knicks won 91-90. Excuse me. Later that night, the Nuggets faced the Thunder, and would they be able to take a 2-0 lead? Nope, it was all the Thunder, and as they would go on to win 149-106, a 43-point victory. Nikola Jokic would foul out. My dad brought up a point saying, did the Nuggets just throw in the towel for game 2 to start fresh at home for game 3? Or the Thunder that good? I think Oklahoma City is actually that good. Also, they should have won the first game. The Nuggets stole that one from them. For the Nuggets, leading scorer was a player off the bench with 17 in Russell Westbrook. If you've been watching the games, he's been bringing energy, and I want to say chippy or happy when he gets called for foul or technical. And then for the Thunder, Shea went off for 34 points and getting 11 of them from the free throw line. Now, in the second round, for what has been surprising to me, it's the Knicks stealing 2 games in Boston. In the first game, they literally stole the game when Mikal Bridges stole the ball from Brown. And in game 2, want to guess who saved the day on defense for the Knicks? It was Bridges once again, with what looked like to be a block on Tatum. Also, staying in the Eastern Conference, the Pacers stealing 2 games from the 1-seeded Cavaliers. That is definitely surprising to me. And I found out point guard Darius Garland hasn't been playing, and even without him playing, I'm still surprised. Pacers head home with a 2-0 lead. Can they sweep the 1-seed Cavaliers, or will they bounce back? The Knicks and Pacers are doing things. I don't know if I saw that coming, especially from the Knicks. Also, Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson was named the Coach of the Year. Can he show he is Coach of the Year and lead his team back to a series win? Or at least even the series on the road? Now on to the Western Conference, going back to it. The Timberwolves, Thursday, May 8th, take on the Golden State Warriors, down 1-0 in the series. Bad news for the Warriors and good for the Timberwolves is Curry is expected to miss at least 1 week with a hamstring injury, according to NBA.com. With Curry out, I think the Warriors will now lose the series. I think they'll definitely lose game 2, and it could be a blowout. But like the Thunder game, or go the other way, being a defensive battle like the Knicks-Celtics game 2. The Warriors have that intensity, and the Wolves have the grit. If Kerr plays Kuminga, or still plays him, I think the Warriors will have a chance to go up 2-0 on the road. But it's also, the Wolves could tie it. Edwards will need to go off, and what I mean by that is score a bunch of points, and in a sense actually be selfish, which he can be, but he's a team player too, I would say. And then Gobert will need to be a machine on the boards. One last basketball-related topic. If you haven't heard yet, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich is not coaching anymore, but he is staying within the Spurs and moving into a different role to the Spurs president of basketball operations, according to NBA.com. And Mitch Johnson will now be the new head coach. And we'll stay with the postseason, but we'll switch sports, going to hockey, or NHL, which is also in the second round. And according to NHL.com and other sources, sharing the news. Utah now has their new logo, the Mammoth. When you hear the team, it would sound silly, but the way they designed it and made the logo, I think it actually looks good. What do you think about the logo? Write your thoughts in the comments. If I'm not mistaken or lying, the Toronto Maple Leafs came back to beat the Florida Panthers 4-3 after being down 1-0 to take a 2-0 series lead. I saw the score but didn't watch much of that game. I did see some of the Winnipeg Jets and Dallas Stars game. The Dallas Stars would hold on to win 3-2, winning the first game in the series. And then Thursday, May 8th, the Carolina Hurricanes look to take a 2-0 lead against the Washington Capitals, and Edmonton looks to do the same against the Vegas Knights. I know I haven't watched much hockey, and I keep saying it, but I think the Stars can play the Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals. That would be my prediction. And if you have any comments, questions, stuff you'd like to hear, send me a message to my the email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram message, comment on Spotify, message on Spotify, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the Corbin Report on YouTube and Spotify if there's anything else you'd like to hear. And thanks for listening to the Corbin Report. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.